Hello students, welcome back. Let us continue with chapter 8 quadrilaterals. We will continue with exercise 8.2 which is on pages 150 to 151, question number 4. It's been given that quadrilateral ABCD is a trapezium wherein EF is parallel to AB and AB is parallel to DC and EF is parallel to AB, right? Therefore, what can I say? That these three lines DC, EF and AB are parallel, correct? And also that BD is the diagonal and E is the midpoint of AD or DA. So, what do we need to prove is that F is the midpoint of BC. So, first of all, if you take a look at your triangle DAB, you have E as the midpoint out here and this line here is parallel to AB, that is EF is parallel to AB, which is given. So, what can I say is that this line segment from E to this line segment here, this entire line segment is parallel to AB. So, let us mark this as G. Therefore, what can I say? That EG is parallel to AB. So, for my triangle DAB, I have EG out here wherein E is the midpoint of AD and EG is parallel to AB. Therefore, by the converse of midpoint theorem, I can say that G is the midpoint of DB. Again, we will use the same methodology for proving that F is the midpoint using the midpoint theorem. Now, we have that G is the midpoint. We have just proved that G is the midpoint and we showed that these two line segments are parallel to each other. Therefore, by the converse of midpoint theorem, I will have F as the midpoint of BC, which is what we need to prove. So, let us go ahead and write this proof. So, I will say proof, let G be the point of intersection of diagonal BD and line EF such that G lies between E and F. So, when I say E dash G dash F, it means G lies between E and F. Again, now we have been given that AB is parallel to BC, AB is parallel to DC and EF is parallel to AB. So, see, we have the same, we have different lines parallel to AB out here. Therefore, what can I say? That EF is parallel to AB, which is parallel to DC. Therefore, first of all, these both are given. Therefore, what can I say? That AB is parallel to DC, which is parallel to EF. Let us mark this as 1. And now, let us go ahead and prove that G is the midpoint of DB. So, I will say in triangle DAC, I have E is the midpoint, DAB, I have E is the midpoint of AD. This is given. Okay, and also I have EG is parallel to AB. So, why EG is parallel to AB? Because we have been given that EF is parallel to AB and we just proved that G lies between E and F. So, EGF. Therefore, what can I say? That G is the midpoint of DB, correct? By converse of midpoint theorem. Let us mark this as statement number 2. So, I will erase this section and for reference we will take the triangle which consists of F, where we need to prove that F is the midpoint. So, this is B, this is D, this is C, this is G and this is F. We just proved that G is the midpoint of DB and GF is parallel to DC. Why? Because EF is parallel to DC, correct? And G lies between E and F, therefore GF is parallel to DC. Therefore, what can I say? That F is the midpoint of BC. Let us write this down. in triangle BDC, I have G is the midpoint of DB, I'll say from 2. Okay, and GF is parallel to DC from 1, and also because G lies between E and F. Correct? Therefore, F is the midpoint of BC. Correct? And here I'll say converse of midpoint theorem. So I'll erase this triangle because this was just for reference purpose. Yes, and we have proved what was required, that F is the midpoint of BC by using the converse of midpoint theorem. So just a small brief session of what we did. We considered two separate triangles. First of all, we proved that these three lines are parallel. Then we mark this point G out here. We use the converse of midpoint theorem to prove that G is the midpoint for this G is the midpoint of DB for this triangle DAB. Then we considered this triangle out here. We have G is the midpoint of DB and GF is parallel to DC. Therefore, using the converse of midpoint theorem, F is the midpoint of BC. So this was about question number 4. Let's continue with the remaining questions in the next classes. Thank you.
Hope this video increased your knowledge. For more such videos and a completely free educational content, log on to www.epathshala.org or visit our ePathshala YouTube channel. We have each and every question solved for maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So subscribe our channel, share with your friends, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter handle for regular updates and important educational tips, and also win ePathshala goodies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and enjoy the freedom of education.